Welcome back to another episode of In the End, There's Always a Disney God. Before we get into today's episode, make sure you go to DisneyGod.com, check out all my sites, and subscribe to my blog so you can get updated on anything and everything that is Disney God. But today we're going to be getting into the Disney Plus Loki television series. So before we really get into that, which we won't really dive into that, but we're going to discuss some of the basics surrounding Loki. So everyone knows that the past few series, WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, and all these other upcoming series that are being displayed from Disney Plus, you have mainly followed the events from Avengers Endgame, of course. I would say, most of them have followed the events of Avengers Endgame. From the past few things that have happened, I would say all three have. But Loki has, I would say, technically, if we're speaking technically, Loki's followed Avengers Endgame, but because of an incident that happened in the movie, in a specific scene. I don't know if you've seen Avengers Endgame, but if you haven't, which you probably should have because the movie was released 2 years ago. So I'm really hoping that you have seen the film. But if you haven't, don't listen to me. But because this is going to connect to the Loki television series. But if you guys remember, of course, Thanos took all the stones. He did what he said he was going to do. Snapped his fingers. Half of the universe gone. Right? Of course. And 5 years later, we see what happened to the Avengers team because of those things. And we know that life definitely wasn't as it seemed before. But that was when things changed, when the Avengers formed a team to get everyone back, which was to create a time machine, which Tony Stark did do, of course. And everybody went back in time to get the Infinity Stones before Thanos got them to undo what he did do. And because of that, it caused an incident. Which this incident actually pertains to why Loki is still alive. Actually, it's because of this incident is why Loki is still alive. And I know people are probably like, how is Loki still alive? We literally saw him get killed in Avengers Infinity War. Well, that question is about to be resolved. If you guys watch Avengers Endgame, I don't know if you remember, but when the Avengers went back in time, put on they back in time outfits, and they got into their whatever it was, put on their space shields, and they jumped right on into that time machine, and they went back in time to, I believe it was 2000 and what, 12? Yeah, 2012, when you guys remember there was a wormhole in the sky with monsters and creatures coming out of it, pouring out of it because of Loki. And they were going back to this specific scene. Well, Tony, a couple of other Avengers were going back in time to retrieve the Space Stone. So as they were going back in time to retrieve the Space Stone, of course, they ran into Loki. But the Avengers had a little incident. They ran into S.H.I.E.L.D., which kind of threw their plan off. So Tony told Ant-Man to remove one of his, I don't know, one of his cords, one of his back in time. It's so hard to reference them because it's like I have to talk about the Avengers back in time and then while they were back in time. But summary is Tony Stark dropped it, and the Space Stone slid over to Loki and he zipped out, which is why Loki is still alive. And I know it's crazy, and I know it's unexpected, but if you watched Endgame, you will remember that scene when Tony's future self or present self met his past self, which was the 2012 him, when he was in time, and his 2012 self dropped the Space Stone as he was trying to retrieve it, and it slid over to Loki, and he zipped out. which is why and how he's still alive. I know it's crazy, but that's the truth. If you've seen Endgame, you would know that for yourself. Which is why Loki is still alive to this day. It's crazy because it's like, man, this is like what, his second time dying. I don't know, his third or fourth, and he's still alive. But it seems like his luck is still running for him. But that's how that's how he that's how he's still alive. I know it's crazy, but he's the god of mischief. There's always a way for him for some weird reason. But yeah, that's literally why and how this man is still alive. Um, but I know this series basically gets into what he's done wrong. Because Loki has done a lot of wrong. He's done a lot of wrong to a lot of people, and that's what this series is about. It's about him, I guess, getting, I would say, probably serving. This is probably service for his crimes, I would say. This series is. It basically gets into he basically has to pay for his crimes because he's gotten away with practically all of them. So that's what the TVA is for. The Time Variance Authority. Their jobs is to get rid of the things that are out of place. And Loki is definitely out of place. I mean, the literal reason why he's alive is because the Avengers had an incident when they were going back in time, which caused them, which caused Loki to, which is why Loki is still alive. And I know it's crazy and it's insane, but that's literally the reason why he's still alive. But I mean, I'm honestly not even shocked at this point because, like I said, Loki always has found a way to override death. So this isn't his first rodeo, I'd say. That's why I'm not really shocked or surprised about this. But I mean, like the man said, I don't know his name, but he said, um, with all the things he's done, he messed up time. Um, he messed up time, and I mean, literally, he's messed up time. The only reason why he's existing is because of an accident that the Avengers did. If it wasn't for the Avengers, um, making that accident, he would still be dead. Technically, yeah, he'll still be dead. Not technically, he would be. He will be. But I mean, I'm not shocked. I knew they were gonna find a way to bring his character back. I knew that for a fact. I was just waiting, and I didn't even think about that plot until I rewatched Avengers Endgame. When I rewatched it, because when I first heard that they were making a Loki television series, I was like, how they gonna make a Loki series when Loki is dead? And then something said, go back and watch and rewatch Avengers Endgame. And I was like, oh my God, Marvel is smart. Because Tony Stark dropped the Space Stone and it slid over to Loki and he zipped out, that's why he's still alive. And if it wasn't for me watching Avengers Endgame again, I probably still wouldn't have known why Loki is still alive. I probably still would have been clueless. But it all makes sense now. I hope you guys understand now why they made a series and why he's still technically alive. Um, but thank you for listening in for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you follow this podcast on both Google and Spotify. Make sure you give me a rating on IMDb. If you don't know my IMDb, all you have to do is just Google the show. In the end, there's always a Disney Guide, or you can check it out on tv.disneyguide.com, where all the things related to this show is about, and some other shows as well. You can also check out cw.disneyguide.com and for, free episodes of shows like All American, Grey's Anatomy, um, Legacies. All the shows are on there for free. You can watch the episodes for free. Um, you can also check out marvel.disneyguide.com to stream WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier as well, all season 1 episodes, as well as for WandaVision. Thank you for listening in to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed. The next episode should be coming out, I believe. So the schedule for the show is Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and um, I will say Sundays probably, but the schedule is just mainly going to be Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Low key, that's it. Just 3 days a week. I don't believe any episodes will be filmed or done over the weekend anymore, like it was last season. But yeah, thank you for listening in today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and like I said, make sure you stream season 1 episodes right now if you haven't. Get yourselves caught up. I already know. And if y'all have any shows y'all suggest me to that I should add to cw.disneyguide.com, please let me know. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what shows I should add. Give me some suggestions of some shows you would like to see, and I will make it possible for it to be put on my site. But thank you for listening in, and like I said, thank you for listening to my podcast. And yeah, bye bye, guys.